positive feedback loop where you get closer and closer to sounding like Towns. Ain't gonna sing no lonesome tune. Oh, babe, I'm a-comin' soon. Cannot believe I stayed so long away. But a man must look around, and you're the sweetest thing I've found. All you lost high rollers rolling home today. Mike's Music Method. How's it going, everyone? No Lonesome Tune by Townes Van Zandt. Someone just requested this song. This song has been requested quite a few times, and I love this song. So when I got the request just a couple days ago, I'm like, I'm going to learn this immediately. And so I did. And so thank you. I should be better about this. I should be writing down people's names. The comments on YouTube are a mess, but I should write this stuff down. Whoever requested this song recently, you know who you are. Billy, Kathy, Stacy, Steve, whoever you are. This is a fantastic Townes Van Zandt song. The whole tune is 2 chords, and yet it's incredibly, well, not incredibly difficult, but it's pretty hard to play and sing at the same time. I had trouble just trying to do that intro. It took me like a dozen takes to finally get it together. Two chords, yet the whole thing has this urgency, and well, I don't want to say urgency, but movement, right? It's like hopping along the whole time, especially the other instruments, but it's just C to G. But as always, it's Townes' excellent little frills and whatever he does. It's Townes finger picking. Another perfect one by Townes. It's fantastic. So let's dive in. As always, check out the Travis picking playlist if you haven't, and watch the first few videos there. And then you can watch just the video, the Travis picking primer. So start with that stuff. And if you do, it's not super hard. You can always simplify it. But to get this one like Townes plays it with a lot of finesse, and to get the hops and the staccato and everything going, even if you're a good player, it's going to be a challenge for you, I promise, especially if you want to sing it. So let's do it. That's going to be fun. Mike's Music Method. Remember, capo 2. We're going to do measure 1, just a little pickup here. Hold down a C chord. We don't need the whole C chord, but it's going to bleed right into the next measure. So hold down entire C chord, just normal C. We are going to pinch 3 and 2 with my thumb and pointer. So it's just open in the first fret, but hold down the whole chord here. And then we are hammering our pinky down onto the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Oop. Gotta get nice, good hammer. Don't hit the wrong string like I just did. That's your pickup. Then right into measure 1. Great, peppy, happy, bouncy rhythm. It's difficult. Let's break it down. The thumb is doing some interesting things here, so let's pay careful attention. I'm going to show you measure 2 and 3 just so you can see the full thumb pattern. He's holding down a C chord, but the thumb pattern is 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. So he's tripping you up by the first. On that second beat, he gives you the 3rd string, and then it's the 4th string every other time. 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. So that was measures 2 and 3. Let's focus in on measure 2 here. So neat. We'll break it apart slowly. Let's just do the first half. I am pinching 5 and 1. I'm doing my thumb and my middle finger. Then my thumb is jumping to the 3rd string, and I'm immediately playing the 2nd string with my pointer finger. Pinch 5, 1, and it's thumb, pointer. 5, 1, and then 3rd string, 2nd. And that's your rhythm. 1, 2, and... Now the second half, we're still going to pinch 5 and 1. But then we immediately have the 2nd string, because we have an and beat here. And it's the pointer finger on the 2nd string. Then our thumb goes to the 4th string, not the 3rd, right? So, and then we play pointer on the 3rd string. So we're constantly shifting between having middle and pointer on 1st string and 2nd up to 2 and 3. He's shifting that because the thumb is shifting from 5-3 to 5-4. So he's toying with all these different notes, which gives it that kind of peppy, unexpected syncopation and stuff. So the whole, and if this is hard, break them apart like I did, right? Maybe you work on only the first half of the measure. 1, 2, and pinch, 3rd, 2nd, pinch, 3rd, 2nd. second half of the measure. Write a different thumb pattern. And what I'm doing it with my pointer, I'm doing pinch. Then I'm pinching there with my middle and thumb. Then I'm doing my index, thumb, and then my index moves to the third string. When you're doing, I don't know how to explain this. There's never hard set rules with what fingers to use, but most people, 98% of people, their dominant finger is your pointer. So if you got to hit a couple notes in a row with not a huge amount of break in between, double up on that pointer finger. So let's play all of it together real slow. Go slow, and if you are absolutely in love with the song but it feels too advanced for you, then don't do that, right? The whole time just play 5-4, 5-4, 5-4, and don't let it trip you up. It still sounds fine, right? There's a little missing cool factor, but it's not a huge deal and you'll survive. But for you people who are crazy like me, get in there, go slow, get the microscope out, learn that measure. Let's go to measure 3. We get a little bit of a break here on measure 3. Way more sparse. Still a C chord. Thumb alone on 5. Then we're pinching 4 and 2. You should use your index, I guess. Or sorry, your pointer. And then 5th string with your thumb. Then you can hit the 2nd string, but you're going to put your pinky down on the 3rd string of that 2nd fret. So at the second half of the measure is just thumb, put your pinky down on that 2nd string, and thumb on the 4th. So it's 5, 2, 4 other strings. So that's it. Thumb, pinch, thumb, and thumb. And that's going down on the and. Regular C, put the pinky down. From the top, just to give it context, 3, 4. 3, 4. Hey, good news. That super cool measure you learned, measure 2, is the same as 4. Same exact thing. Let's go down to measure 5. Similar as before, even easier though. We have thumb alone, pinching 4 and 2. Then we have thumb on 5, thumb on 4, and then it's an and on the 3rd string with your pointer finger. Rhythm 1, 2, 3, 4, and thumb, pinch, thumb, pointer, thumb, pinch. And I'm pinching with, it doesn't really matter, you can pinch with your pointer or your middle. I guess I'm pinching with my middle because my pointer's on the next string. So I have these two on the 2nd and the 3rd. You can see that, right? I was editing and realized that I said I was doing measure 6, but totally skipped it and went to 7. So here we are, double backing, measure 6. Well, not really double backing for you, just for me. The magic of editing. So here we are on 6. We have a G chord. My pinky is down on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And this is my pattern. So it's 6, 2, 4, which is thumb. I'm doing middle. Yeah, thumb, middle, then thumb on the 4th. My pinky's playing that 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And then I'm lifting that pinky up and doing 6, 2. Well, I lift it up after the 6, right? 6. Then lift it up, play the 2nd string open. And then again, it's 4, but then a quick and on the 3rd string with my pointer finger. Lift. So the rhythm is 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So pretty basic G, but your pinky's doing some fancy work. And then on to the real measure 7. Measure 6, we go to a G chord. First time we're doing that, let's take a look at it. And it's got a nice little pull off right at the top. And a lot of color added to it. We added G6 in there. Then we anticipate the note C for the C chord that's coming up. So neat little measure of G. We are pinching 6 and 2, but I've got my pinky down. So it's a G chord, but I'm playing the D there, right? I'm voicing it differently. So the pinky's down on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. I'm just doing ring and pinky. Pinching those two, 6 and 2, and then we're pulling the pinky off. Talked about this 100 times, but I'll say it again in case you're new here. Whenever you're doing a pull off, especially when you're playing a chord, tug down a little bit, like you're trying to shoot a bow and arrow into the sky. So you're gonna pull down, not like you don't want to bend it, but you kind of hear almost a little bend in there. And eventually you won't because you'll get it really snappy. But I'm not just lifting, that's kind of weak, right? Weak sauce, not very bold. So you pull down a little bit. I'm tugging with my pinky, releasing up to get a good pull off. So we have that, and then I'm doing thumb on 4, pointer on 3. And when I pinched at the beginning, when I do a pull off, I'm doing thumb in middle. So again, middle's on the 2nd string, pointer's on the 3rd, kind of have that position here. So thumb in middle, the pull off, 6 and 2. Thumb on 4, pointer on 3. Get used to that, get that left hand pinky strong and going, flex it. Look at those veins, pinky veins. And then the second half of the measure, we throw our middle finger down on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. That note's an A, which makes it a G9, I know this jazz, I kind of know this jazz stuff. I should know it, I'm forgetting it because I'm doing folk all the time. But yeah, we're adding an A to our G chord. G, A, yeah, that's a 9. Anyway, you guys don't care, you just want to know how to play it, right? We have that finger down, and we're doing 6, and then we're playing that note. Pointer on the 3rd string. Then thumb is doing the 4th string. And then we slam our 1st finger down on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, the note C. Because we're going into a C chord. It's called an anticipation. So again, the second half, 6, 3rd string with that middle finger down on the 2nd fret. Then 4th string, and then 2nd string with my 1st finger down on it, 1st fret. And you don't want to get in the habit of holding it if you're practicing it alone because it is going to be ringing out from that pull off, right? Add the middle, then add the 1st. So you're adding them one at a time so that everything is nice and legato, meaning each of those melody notes is ringing out as long as possible before you mute the sound by putting down the next note. So really cool. We're almost near the end of this great little intro. Let's keep going together. Measure 8, C chord, pretty easy, but the hard part is remembering these subtle differences because here we're skipping from 5 all the way to 3 with the thumb. So we have 5, 3, 5, and that and is the middle finger on the 1st string. And then 3 again, and then you have the and on the 2nd string with your pointer. So 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 2, 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 2. My fingers are thumb, 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 middle, thumb, index. You know, there's a little back and forth that I'm doing in my brain that if you're not used to is going to be hard. So in this case, I knew what melody notes were coming. So the last few times we had our 2 fingers here, right? Middle on the 2nd string. I don't know if it's hard to see the strings on this guitar, but you get the idea. Middle's on the 2nd string. It doesn't help at all. And the pointer's on the 3rd string. And here that switched and went down. Middle's on the 1st string. Pointer is on the 2nd string. Then we look at the next measure, very similar, a little trickier, measure 9. Let's go straight into it. We've got same chord, C chord, but it's 5, 1, 3, 2, simple enough. Thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, 5, 1, 3, 2. And the second half, we're doing 5-2 again with your pointer, but you're putting your pinky down to get the 3rd fret. We kind of already saw that little color, that trick in this song. And it's just 5-2, and the thumb plays 3. Thumb, pointer, thumb. So that whole measure, 9, 3, 4. Remember, you got your little arrows on the keyboard. J is back a bit, L is forward a bit, K plays and pauses. Super helpful. I don't want to play these too many times, but I also don't want to play them not enough. So if I don't play them enough for you, go back and listen again and keep listening. And I always talk about the microscope. Go slow. Get in there, 1 measure at a time, half a measure at a time, 1/4 of a measure at a time, whatever it takes for your brain and your fingers to feel comfortable. If you rush them and you're not comfortable, that you're then whatever you practice, you're going to get more of that result. So if you're being clumsy and you keep doing it clumsily, you're practicing being clumsy and you're going to play it clumsily. So really get in there, go as slow as you have to really understand it. And maybe, literally, I want to belabor this point, but that might mean you're only getting 2 measures of this song down every week. And that's fine. If you're at that skill level, and let this be a long-term piece, and that's awesome. That's a great way to learn, because it's only going to take you, I don't know, if this seems impossible to you, then do a measure a week. And in 2 months, you'll have the whole intro of what you thought was an impossible song for you. I know it's tedious, but there are results. It gives you results. So always have simple songs that you can play and have fun with, but always have one where you're kind of pushing that boundary, right? It's called deliberate practice. It's a fancy word that people have done all this research on, but you get the idea here. It's not too hard that you can't absolutely do it, but it's pretty darn hard where you're just doing bit by bit, piece by piece, putting in the time right on the cusp of, right, where you're right on the edge. Are you going to jump? Are you going to do it? Don't do it. Life's good. Bad analogy, but you know what I'm saying. All right, let's keep going. Pat yourself on the back. You made it through the whole intro. We are going to do it nice and slow. I'll give you some tips and pointers, talk you through it. If it's tricky for you, if you feel like you got it down, skip ahead a bit and start on the verse. But let's do this nice and slow. It's so beautiful. So we got the pickup here. I never count in pickups, right? Because it's the whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And you shift your fingers because the melody's on different notes. Then go back to the top 2. Whoop, you pinch. Shift them up again. By the shift again is we're going from these 2 fingers, pointer and middle, being on the first 2 strings, 1 and 2, as opposed to 2 and 3. So you're gonna have to get used to moving those, because no one wants to use the ring finger, right? Classical players do that, but Townes isn't doing that. Most folk players are not doing that. Let's play it a few more times real slow. I'm just gonna do the pickup right on 4, 3, 4, run 1. So then I shift my fingers, middle finger there. Back to the top string, shift them there, keep them there, pinky pull off, shift them to the top 2 again. Let's do it one more time. 3, 4. Get it. What I'm doing there, sometimes I have to play it to speed to kind of hear the song. There's a little bit of a palm mute. I'd have to listen to the song again. but I'm hearing that I don't know if it's totally ringing out. I don't know if there's a little palm mute, or sometimes having the bass player, right, the upright bass, boom, boom, boom. You hear that, so it's hard to kind of remember exactly how Townes is doing it. So whether you're playing it alone or with a bass player, you're always going to be considering different things, right? If you're playing it alone, maybe you want to supply the kind of cool palm muted bass line thing. Or maybe you want it to be as loud as possible and be kind of open sounding. There is no right or wrong answer here, but it's definitely one of these things you want to experiment with. It's one thing to have the notes. It's another thing to have the rhythm down really well. But then you have to consider, all right, is it legato? Is it staccato? Are there certain dynamics on certain beats, right? We didn't even discuss that. Are there certain emphasis? Like, bum, 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 bum. And I intuit that, but for players who aren't as good, maybe you want to sit down, listen to the song, and circle some of the notes that should be a little bit louder, because it is those subtle things that are going to take you playing the riff from like, this sounds kind of cool, to whoa, that sounds awesome. And a lot of that to make that shift happen is hard, because you might be playing all the notes perfectly, and you might even have the rhythm exactly right, but it's these nuanced things of, ooh, this part was a little staccato, that note was a little louder, and it's those little punches that take you from, oh, he's an amateur player, that sounds like it, to like, holy cow, that's killer. And I can't go into all this here, and I'd have to almost hear you play, but you get the idea. It's up to you to kind of focus, to take the time to be aware of all these things and don't overlook them. What's really helpful is recording yourself playing it, listen to yourself, then right after listen to Townes play it, to be hard on yourself and go, okay, why does this sound so much better? I swear, I thought I was playing all the notes right. And then start to, go slow, measure by measure. What's different about his measure than yours? And not only are you going to get better at this song, but that is an invaluable tool to be able to. We all know what active listening is, right? When you're reading a book, you might put on classical music, passive listening. Versus sitting there with headphones on, closing your eyes, all right, I'm going to listen to the music, active listening. But then there's like super active listening. I don't know what to call it. Let's come up with a word, uber active. Someone comment below with a good word for this. But there's this uber active listening where you're not only listening to it, but you have your guitar with you, and you're trying to transfer, what's in your ears to your instrument, and then get that feedback to be able to replicate it. And you want this feedback loop, a positive feedback loop, where you get closer and closer to sounding like Townes. I hope that makes sense. But let's go to the verse. I'm going to say the same thing I say before most verses. For you singers out there, I will insert the vocal melody in there so we can kind of piece it together with the picking. But if you just want to sing this song, and it's really hard to pick and sing at the same time, then don't get it exact. I recommend just finding a really simple, basic pattern here. So it could just be like pinch, thumb, and thumb, and thumb, and pinch, thumb, and thumb, and thumb, and pinch, thumb, and thumb, and thumb, and... Where you come up with some repetitive patterns so you don't have to overanalyze your guitar playing while you're trying to sing it. And if you can play the intro really beautifully, then it's fine to relax on the verse. If you're playing it for someone, chances are when you start singing, they're probably going to pay a little less attention to your guitar, pay attention to your voice and the vocals. So don't be ashamed if you have to do a simple pattern at first. But for those who want to dive in, here you are at Mike's Music Method. You could be somewhere else. You're not. So you're crazy like I am. Let's try to get it as accurate as Townes does. And that's hard because there's a lot of instruments that come in on the recording, and he plays it a little bit different every time. I didn't completely obsess on all the different verses and the slight variations, but give you the general color that I was hearing throughout the verses here. So measure 10. I think that's exactly the same as the beginning, isn't it? Yeah, so that we have 10 down. It's the same as the second measure in the song. And then same thing with 11. That's going to be exactly the same. So let's play those. And go back a little bit to 9 because he actually starts singing at the end of the intro. It's a pickup beat. Ain't gonna, then here's 10. Sing no lonesome tune. And then we repeat the exact same thing. So let's go from 9 again, and we'll sing the first 2 lines. Ain't gonna sing no lonesome tune. Oh, babe, I'm coming soon. Then 14, we go to a G, and here it's simplified. He's not doing all that busyness like he was in the intro, even though it's still pretty busy. We're pinching 6 and 2. Our pinky is down on the 3rd fret of that 2nd string. Pinch 6, 2, and then it's 4, 3, thumb index. And then it's the same thing but staggered. Then it's just 6, 2, 4, 3. So it's pinch, and here it's 6, 2, 4, 3. Pinch, da, da, 6, 2, 4, 3. And then right into the next measure, 15. We still have a little bit of that color there. 6, 4, 3. Then it's 6, 3 with the middle finger down, like we did before. 4, and then 2nd string with our 1st finger down. So really slow. I'll go from 14 one more time. 3, 4. Probably lifted that pinky up too soon in measure 14. Let's do it again. Pinch. Yeah, if you want it to be really clean, you don't really move that pinky until you lift it up to play the 1st fret there. And it's one of these songs we just got started, but we're almost done with it. We got 2 measures left, and then you know the whole song. Because it loops and loops and loops. And there's a word for this song. I don't know what it's called. Where the verse and the chorus are like the same thing. I'll have to look this up later. But that's one of these songs where there's not really a chorus, unless you call like the end of the verse a chorus, but the words are never the same. So Townes felt his verse. He was so confident in his verse. In other words, he's like, I don't even need to write a chorus. This song's that good. Pretty brave, pretty bold. So we are on 16, and we've seen this before. We're skipping from 5 to 3. 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 2, 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 2. And then here, 17, we saw this before too. 5, 1, 3, 2, 5, 2, with the pinky down, 3. Right, this was these 2 measures are exactly the same as the end of the intro. We'll go from 1 before the top of the verse, right, because it rolls into it, which is measure 9, 3, 4. I didn't sing. 3, 4. Ain't gonna sing no lonesome tune. Oh, babe, I'm a-comin' soon. Cannot believe I stayed so long away. That's it. We'll do some slow run-throughs of all the parts. But, it keeps going back to that intro, verse, and then there's that long, it does the intro again and again and again, and there's that mandolin and whatever other instruments are kind of swelling and building it up and kind of stomping through it, and just a triumphant, one of the rare Townes tunes where it's not depressing. He's singing like it's very positive. He's not talking about being a player and living life on the road and drinking and doing what he does, but it's about coming home to a lady. Too bad the song's a bunch of lies. Did Townes do that? I don't know. Is it just me, or am I talking like a mile a minute today? I don't know. It's one of 2 reasons. Either I'm just super excited to cram as much information for you guys in every single minute as possible, making every minute as valuable and value-filled as it can be, or if it's because my 14-month-old is napping and I'm worried she's going to wake up in any minute and I won't be able to finish this video for you guys. So either way, I hope it doesn't appear as nervous energy, but rather excited, inspirational energy. And I haven't even had coffee today. I did have some yerba mate tea. Super good. If you haven't had yerba mate, check it out. As requested by many people, slow run-throughs at the end of the whole tune. We'll play it together, we'll sing it, we will practice and learn together. So I've got my lyrics up and I've got my tab printed out. Remember, mikesmusicmethod.com. Everything's free to download, not charging for any content, no paywalls. So if you're getting value from this video, from my tabs, from other videos, please consider some contribution. It's a value for value model. If you're getting value from this stuff, please consider giving some back. This could be Patreon. PayPal is a great way to do it. PayPal or Patreon, or you can snail mail me a check. You can Venmo me. And there's ways to set it up on PayPal and Patreon where you can do $20 a month, $40 a month, $5 a month, whatever you think you're getting from these lessons. You can be paying a guitar teacher every week. That would be what, 40, 80, 160, $200 a month. Or maybe you feel like these videos are worth that. You know, maybe $160 a month. Or if you don't have the means, $1 a month. Or you don't have that, still like and share the videos. But even if everyone could give like $1, I can make this my livelihood and be like bringing you guys videos multiple times a week, and we could get through every single Townes Van Zandt tune. That's my long, I don't know how many years it's going to take me, maybe 5 years, the 5-year goal. Every Townes Van Zandt song. Let's do it. Help me, buy me some time so we can do that together. So let's go through all of this. We got the intro here. We'll play it real slow. We'll do the whole thing. Let's just do that. 3, 4... Ain't gonna sing no lonesome tune. Oh, babe, I'm a-comin' soon. Cannot believe I ain't so long with them. Sorry. But, oh, and here, so it doesn't exactly, yeah, it does exactly repeat, doesn't it? To the verse, yeah. So right back to the verse again, but, man must look around, and you're the sweetest thing I've found. Your lost high rollers rolling home today. So I'm not sure when it actually goes back to the intro for the whole instrumental thing, but listen to the song and get the flow yourself. And then we got this whole second verse, which the first time I heard it, thought it was so dumb, but the more I the more I hear it, I'm just like, I really like this stanza. This whole verse here is just great. What is it? But we'll go from the top of the verse again, measure 10. My daddy said to me, son, it's hard as you will see to find someone upon whom to rely. And then just repeats the verse again. In the kitchen, mama sneezed, and he grinned big as you please. Said, I said, bless you, and a tear came to his eye. That is right. Said, bless you, and a tear came to his eye. So I apologize. And then it goes right. So I'm going to do 17 again, and then we'll go back to 1. 3, 4. I did decide that very day that I would like to live that way. And now I know I've just been wasting time. It's with you that I should be. If you feel the same about me, I'm headed home along the straightest line. Then back to the intro, which is kind of pretty much the same. You guys did it. The song's fantastic. Play it for your loved ones. Play it for people who you don't think you love, and maybe you'll fall in love with them. And enjoy it. Later, y'all.